I'm really fed up of the situation of this country. Do you know that I actually gained admission to study in the University of Ibadan 4 years ago? That was 2018, right? And so by now I should be in my fourth year, preparing to maybe preparing for my first semester exams or my second semester exams by now. But reverse is the case, because this is my third strike as a student in Nigeria. It's so frustrating, and there are many times I've wept and I've been overwhelmed by this whole thing. I really do wish I was born into I wish I were born into Buhari's family, or let's say Dangote's family, or into a country where I wouldn't be experiencing a mess as this. Sincerely, I am really fed up. I don't even know what to do. I don't know the way forward, because I already had plans and figured out, plans ahead for myself, that after my fourth year, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But all my plans have been put on hold. And it doesn't seem like there's going to be an end anytime soon. Federal government and also have been deliberating for months. When are we going to be out of all of this? When? I ate all of this and I'm tired. Hello, good day everyone. How do you do? I am Bankole Elizabeth Oluwatosin saying you're welcome to Great Liz's vlog. If you are new on this space, oh my goodness, I really do appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. My subscribers, I'm grateful. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. If you have not subscribed, oh my goodness, what are you waiting for? Please click the subscription button, because by God's grace I'll be dishing out content ranging from spiritual talks, marital talks, relationship talks, a number of things that relate to life, things in relation to catering, events, and all of that. So I don't want you to miss out of any of this content. So do well to subscribe. Thank you so much. So yes, you watched a video earlier. That's a depiction of a typical Nigerian student. That video depicts a typical Nigerian student who is experiencing this strike and is actually fed up of the strike. Okay, I'm throwing a question at you. Are you an undergraduate in Nigeria, in a Nigerian university? And are you, okay, so how has the strike been for you? Have you been overwhelmed? Are you depressed presently? Or how have you been able to get along? So drop your comments in the comments section. Thank you so much. So let's go straight into what we have for today. Before we do that, we'd like to have a short break, and I'll be right back. Don't go away. Thank you. Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned. So this video is actually a comment on, like, a response to the complaints of that typical Nigerian student. So the title of this video is What Next? What Next? Having realized that we are in a, like, let's use the word that the students used, a mess, right, of a strike. So we're in a mess, and it seems like there's not going to be a way forward soon. There's nothing going to come out of it soon. What should we do? What's next? For somebody that is already depressed, who is already being emotionally affected by this strike, what should the person do? Okay, let's start from here. When we talk about depression, I realized that depression is when you are emotionally down, right? You're emotionally down as a result of something that you have sucked in. So you are allowed to stay. Actually, there's an adage that says you cannot stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can stop it from making a home on your head. Let me say it in my own words. You can stop it from making a home on your head. You can stop it from plateauing on your head, just staying there. So so now that we are already Nigerian students are on strike, and people are doing different things. Many are being overwhelmed, some are thriving, and so you as well desire to thrive, but you don't know the way forward. So here we'll be discussing the way forward. Talking about that depression, it is actually what you are allowed you suck in, what you are allowed to sink in that affects you. I realized that, have you ever seen someone who is in a situation of is let's say has not eaten for days, or let's say someone who is fasting? Do you know that the fact that you have not eaten is not going to accept you, it's not going to affect you until the moment when you agree and say, yeah, my goodness, I'm really, really hungry. I don't think I can do without food. I need to eat. Do you know that the moment you accept that thought and you allow it to sink in, that's when it begins to affect you. And then you begin to feel pain in your belly and you are affected by it. The truth is that this depression of a thing, if you allow it, when the thought comes to you that, hey, I don't think I can, you begin to receive all those thoughts of the never do well thoughts, the thoughts of, you are going to be massively affected by the strike, and it's going to affect your plans, really, really affect your plans, and you may not be able to do well. And all those thoughts, if you accept them, then they will begin to affect you. So it starts from not accepting anything negative. Don't allow your situation define your future or define your position, in the sense that the way you stay, how you, the way you think, your position regarding the issue. So your situation should not determine your position, but your position should be determined by God and what you believe. What you believe, who do you believe, let's talk about the fact that God is our author. Somebody posted something that relates to my author, and I was wondering, I'm like, really, God is actually my author. He's the writer of our story. And somebody also said that God has this factored into his plans for us. He's the one that declares the end from the very beginning. So before now, you already saw that, at so time there's going to be something like this. So he already has this plan out for us. Let's take for instance, let's look at the life of Joseph. Joseph was in a strange land, and he was imprisoned. So at the time when he interpreted the dreams of the chief baker and the chief butler, and he told one of them that he told one of them that by the time you get to the king, please remember me. He tried to tell him to plead his cause before the king, but this man literally forgot him until years. Forgot him. That delay, that time, Joseph could have been overwhelmed and felt that, the person I thought could help me talk to the king about my situation has forgotten me. And that seemed like a delay, just like Nigerian students are experiencing, let's say, a delay at this time. Well, I bring you good news that, okay, let's take a look at Joseph. Joseph was not affected by that delay because God was planning to bring him out of that prison at its own time through another thing, he had his own plan for him. So irrespective of whatever may be happening, God has already factored this into his plan for your life. So do not allow this to affect you. God is so intentional about us. I do believe that I am Jesus' baby. So as a child of God, you are Jesus' baby. So you must believe that you are precious. Bible says, since thou were precious in my sight. So you are precious in his sight. He's so intentional about you and your future. So he would not allow anything affect his plan and programs for your life. So you have to settle that. Like literally rest and do not allow this to affect you. But I just, another thing I've realized in life is that there is a purpose for the process. There are some people that when you ask them that, do you believe in God? Do you believe that God can bring you through challenges and God can be trusted in the midst of challenges? They'll be like, yes, God can be trusted and all of that. But what truly builds you and refines you and makes you and strengthens your faith is test, is trial, is a challenge. If nothing comes your way and you think you trust God, oh my goodness, I would not vouch for your faith yet, because you have not experienced that which has tested your faith. And because if you have gone through a trial, then I can say that, wow, yes, you truly love the Lord, you truly believe the Lord. The challenge did not bring you down. I've learned that the process is needed. The process is needed for your faith to be built up by God. So there is a purpose for which God has allowed this. So see the purpose beyond the delay. Focus on the purpose for which God has allowed it. Since you know that he's the writer of your story, and every page in the book will work out for your good. The Bible says that, and we know that all things work together for good. All things, irrespective of the situation, to them that love the Lord, and to them who are called, that are called of his purpose. I'm going to post it. I'm going to put it there. So all things work together for good. All things, literally all things, will eventually work out for your good. So don't worry, don't be overwhelmed. Settle that aspect of depression. You are not supposed to be depressed. The people of the world may be depressed, but the fact that you have the G factor in your life, you have God, this should be a walkover for you. You should just rest and understand the fact that God has this planned out for you, and there is a purpose. This is supposed to see this as an opportunity to build your faith in God and your trust in God, and to and for you to grow in God. But you know that this time the devil has actually been getting a hold of youth and getting them introduced to things that are ungodly. So what are the things that you shouldn't do at this time? You shouldn't be involved in things like prostitution, drug trafficking. You shouldn't be involved in drug addiction. Don't become a drug addict. Don't be involved in businesses that are ungodly. So people can say that, let's go into Yahoo, let's do this, let's do that. Anything that God does not approve, don't be pushed into it. There are better ways to make money. There are better ways to do well at this time. That's why we'll be going into what are the things that we should do, that Nigerian students can do at this time. What can they be engaged in? As I said earlier, despite the fact that many people are being affected by this strike, some people are still thriving. People are doing it. People are making money. People are excelling. People are building themselves. And we have to focus on building ourselves at this time. What are the things we are supposed to do? For someone that thinks that, okay, I think I want to have my master's or PhD outside the country after my undergraduate studies, why don't you find out about GRE exam? Start reading up and practicing questions against the time. That will give you an edge. Aside that, you can make researches about the university, the foreign university, the requirements, what are the requirements you have already and the ones that you do not have yet, and start getting them prepared. Get to know how you're supposed to write your letter and all of that. So this is a good time to do that. This is a good time to do that research. Another thing that can be done is acquiring skills. I know people that have acquired digital skills at this time. People that are acquiring fashion skills. I know someone who is acquiring fashion skill, learning about fashion. I know somebody who is learning about events Okay, I know different people. I know somebody who stays in Abuja and is learning about events management. So different people are learning different things and they are acquiring skills. So don't sit idle and think you are the only one who is overwhelmed. There are people that are not overwhelmed. There are people that are doing well. So arise and do something. Acquire skills that you are interested in. Meet people. This is another time to connect with people online. Build connections with people. Both people in Nigeria and people outside the country. Ask them questions in relation to how they got to where they are. So this is an opportunity to connect with people and meet people. Another thing that you should do at this time is read books. I understand that people do not like reading books. For someone that does not like reading books, there's a way you can do it. You can actually have your books on your phone. You can read a PDF, get the soft copy of the book and read it maybe on a daily basis, 1 page a day. So there are many books that you can read. So when you read, there are some mistakes that you will avoid when you read. So read spiritual books, read marital books, read books on parenting, read books on ministry, depending on your area. Read books on leadership, on business. So read books on so many things, on love, on relationship with people, on how to keep people to yourself. So read books, build capacity by reading books. Build capacity by reading books. Another thing you should do is to volunteer. There are many, despite the strike, of course, there are still seminars, conferences that are being organized, both online and physically. So you can volunteer, be a part of those conferences, and add those things to your resume. So you can volunteer, and that way you are building your resume. Another thing you can do is that You're supposed to settle different areas of your life. You know that as believers, I believe I'm speaking to believers here. As believers, there are many areas you need to settle. For you can settle your marital life, you can settle pray prayers for the future, invest prayers in your prayer bank. I do know that there is something called prayer bank. So invest prayers, put like save prayers there. Pray for your children, pray for your future spouse, pray for your family, pray for your business, pray for your ministry, pray for the things that you already see yourself doing. Pray for your future. Invest prayers, settle different matters in the place of prayer. Another thing that you should do, okay, you know that this time maybe different students are already thinking that, okay, I think we need to protest. This one, that they are not interested in our well-being and in our moving forward as students in the country, as undergraduates, we need to protest. See, protesting cannot do everything. I remember that I saw on the status of one of a lecturer, I saw them protesting, like just like a peaceful protest. Well, that has not really brought any solution, right? So protesting is not just everything. Why don't you protest in the place of prayer instead of already discussing with other students so that you can think of the day you are going to protest? Why don't you gather yourselves in groups of 2s, of 3s, of 5s, of 10s, and fix days where you pray and wait upon the Lord to change these things, because this thing looks beyond physical. Because why will they need to be touched by God. The Bible says the heart of the king is in the hands of the Lord. So there is no word that is enough to touch the persons at the hem of affairs. So we need God to do his work and move the people that need to be moved regarding this issue. So it is encouraged that I'm encouraging you to pray, get people to pray with regarding this issue and settle it. Lastly, I'm going to talk about rest. The Bible tells us that they that trust in the Lord shall be as Mount Zion that shall not be removed. So you are supposed to trust God at this time and trust your life into his hands. If you are trusting God, you can never be wrong. Just know that you can never be wrong if you are trusting God. You cannot trust God and be disappointed. No. You cannot trust God. But when you trust, you will just be as Mount Zion that cannot be removed or abides forever. Nothing will shake you. You will not be moved. But when you are not trusting in God and you are double-minded, you will be unstable. The Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in his ways. So for that not to happen to us, we're just supposed to rest in God. Rest is a proof of our trust in God. When we rest and just believe that God has a plan for me, as I'm doing my part, those things that I'm supposed to do, I'll do them, and just trust and not allow depression and not allow myself to be overwhelmed. Then at the end, my story is going to be one that the world will read and be blessed by. Don't forget that your life is a story, is a book that people will read. So don't allow this strike to get you overwhelmed. Trust God, pray, and do all the things you need to do. And I put it to you that at the end of your life, you'll be celebrated. Even very, very soon, people will look at you and bless God for you. Don't forget, your life is a story. Thank you so much for staying tuned to the very end of this video. I really, really do appreciate it. If you have questions, don't hesitate to drop them in the comment section. If you have additional information you want to add to all of things that have been said today, please drop them in the comment section. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Please don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, and leave me a comment. Till next time, I remain Bankole Elizabeth Oluwatosin. Bye.